Anyway, moving on to the flyweight. We got Cody Garbrandt dropping down the flyweight, and he's taking on Kai Kara-France, who, man, this fight is another one. I mean, we talk about the big guys, the welterweights being able to take fight of the night in performance, but this is 100% a fight where if these guys don't knock each other out early, this could be a drag, knock them down, drag out kind of a fight between these two guys. And Kai Kara-France loves the opportunity to be facing somebody with the name of Cody Garbrandt, dropping down to his division. He thinks he's going to be able to go in there and finish him. And I mean, it could happen. We're going to see. We don't know how the chin is going to hold up, cutting extra weight for Cody Garbrandt, but he talking about shredded. Saw a post of him recently. Now that he's finally cutting a little bit of weight, because he barely cut anything to stay at 135 pounds. What are your thoughts on this one, Michael? This fight's going to be good.
Yeah, this fight's going to be really good. And, when you're in Kai Kara-France's position, you jump at that opportunity to fight a former champion. You always want that signature win, because not only do you build your confidence off that, beating a guy that's been a world champion, but you also, your stock rises a lot. So there's a lot to gain for Kai Kara-France, and this is a big risk for Cody Garbrandt. I don't think the weight cut, I think that he's going to be kind of like the type of anomaly to where the weight cut's going to benefit him, because Cody, I mean, he was always in good shape at 135 pounds, but he never looked shredded on the scale. He walks like at 145 pounds, barely has to cut. And you see him now, and it's like, dude, he's got like an 8-pack. He looks jacked. And he showed durability in the Rob Font fight. So it's, you look at some of the knockout losses, the TJ Dillashaw fights. That's TJ Dillashaw. That's one of the best bantamweights of all time. You go to the Pedro Munoz fight, there's a little bit of a headbutt, somewhat of a controversy within that one. And then when you see the Rob Font fight, the durability is there. And Kai Kara-France is durable as well. He's been in some knockdown, drag-out brawls. So I think this fight's going to be bananas. I'm going with Cody Garbrandt for doing predictions. I'm taking Cody Garbrandt. I think that he's dotted his I's and crossed his T's in terms of how to approach this weight cut. I don't think the chin's going to be an issue. And you are right. This is a definite fight of the night contender.
Yeah, absolutely. I would give the slight edge to Cody as well, but I don't know, something about the way Kai seems confident going into this one. But let's move on. There's so many good fights to talk about. Let's go into the bantamweight division now. We got Sean O'Malley taking on Raulian Paiva. Raulian Paiva is a guy that has shown to be a bit of a dark horse here, right? He can put up a fight. This guy is not a step over, and a lot of people are saying, oh, Sean O'Malley needs to fight guys that are on his level. I don't know. Raulian Paiva is as tough as they come. If Sean can go in there and look good against him, then I think he's really got to step it up and start fighting some of these top guys in the division, because he's a superstar. Everybody knows who he is. The guy's a household name in the MMA world. If he gets another big win on Saturday night, he's got to start taking these bigger fights. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you got to force his hand, and I know that he's doing this for financial reasons. Like, hey, if you're not going to pay me this amount of money, I'm not going to fight ranked guys. Like, okay, so be it. But guess what? There's still a laundry list of tough guys at 135 pounds that are unranked, and Raulian Paiva is one of them. I mean, you saw in the Kyler Phillips fight, had to deal with some early adversity, came back, got the win. And this Kyler Phillips is a guy that trains with Sean O'Malley. Maybe Sean tried to handpick this fight going off of that. I'm not sure, but it's a big gamble for Sean O'Malley. Like, people don't realize, like, yes, he's doing this for his own professional reasons, for business reasons. But the way I look at things is, I would rather lay it on the line against somebody when there's more to gain from it. Like, I'd rather go out there and fight a ranked guy and fight the best guy I possibly can, because if I win, there's so much more to gain from it than the win bonus. You gain the rankings, you gain the notoriety. And if you lose, you come up short, it's against one of the best guys in the world, but there's to me, it's a higher risk to fight a guy that's ultra tough than Raulian Paiva, because if you come up short, your stock's going to plummet. Your Twitch stream's still going to be popping off.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to fighting with the resource that gave you all this notoriety, it's a big gamble to me. Raulian Paiva was tough. All that being said, I still take Sean O'Malley. I think Sean O'Malley cruises through this fight, but it's still a big risk. Raulian Paiva is tough. It's going to be a good scrap for both guys.
I agree with you there. I think Sean does take this one, but I also have the same mentality going into fights when I was fighting, Michael. I always like the idea that everybody at this level is pretty damn good. There's a damn good chance it's going to go one way or the other. There's a good chance you're going to lose. Why not be facing somebody that is tough, that is going to give you a bigger gain or get more success out of it? Then I always looked at it, if I beat these guys that are, in that kind of position, then I can start asking for more money. Whereas Sean kind of looks at it the other way. I want to beat these guys until I start getting more money. It's just where we're different, mentally. But on the prelims, speaking of bantamweights, I mean, we got our man Dominick Cruz going out there against Pedro Munoz. That's a great fight. I mean, number 8 and number 9 in the world in the prelims. That just shows you how stacked this card is. And Dominick Cruz is another guy. Like, I love talking to him about this. He doesn't care that he's on the prelims. To him, it's like, let me go out there, fight, get it done with. Until it's for the belt or main events, like he doesn't think about those things a lot. He just wants to build his way back up however he needs to. What do you think about this?
It's funny. It's really weird to say this. That bantamweight is so stacked that Dominick Cruz, to me, has now become like a dark horse in the division. Like, he's arguably the greatest bantamweight champion we've ever had, held the WEC title, held the UFC title. And he's kind of, him being kind of snuck down in the prelims, and he doesn't care. He's a competitor. He just wants to fight. But to me, he is one of the dark horses at bantamweight because he's still within the top 10. He's fighting a guy, Pedro Munoz, who's number 8. In a win, he could creep back up into the top 5 and get himself back into title contention. And if there's anybody that can get back to that position he was once in, Dominick Cruz could pull a Jose Aldo and have a career resurgence. So it's just crazy to me that Dominick Cruz is one of the dark horses within the rankings at 135 pounds. I mean, that's a great fight. That one's going to be, this card, every fight, I'm like, oh, this fight, it's one of the best on the card. Like, this card is stacked from top to bottom. Yeah, this is going to be a good match.